One of the things you want to make sure first with your spoon blank is that the grain goes from top to bottom, and you should already know this if you have a spoon blank or something already chopped out with a hatchet, because if it goes from left to right, it's actually going to be very weak in the handle area, and it'll snap as soon as you start carving and get it relatively thin. So to have a strong spoon, you'll need to have the grain going from top to bottom. Alright, now I'll show you some of the technique in starting out with a hook knife. So this is my favorite technique in using the hook knife. You'll hold it in your dominant hand, and you'll want to have it sort of in your fingers, caught in your fingers like this, and you can see the direction the blade is going. The blade is facing me right now. The sharp edge is facing me. So you'll hold it right here like this in your hand with your fingers, and your thumb is free. And your thumb needs to be free with this technique because as you hold the spoon that you're carving, your thumb is going to act as sort of an anchor. It's going to press toward the blade. So I'm going to show you a little bit here what's going on. The thumb right here is out of the way of the blade. So if I were to pull too far and come across the spoon all the way, it's not going to hit my thumb. And I'm just dragging the blade right across the top of the spoon. I'm holding the spoon still with my other hand as well. And you can spin the spoon around. When you're first starting out, you really just want to make sure that your thumb is out of the way and that you have a good grip of the knife with your hand. You don't want to make very deep cuts. You're just taking the top layer off at first. And you can keep using this method until you have a shallow bowl. Now sometimes when I'm working on a larger spoon, with a wider bowl, I'll have this build up in the center of the spoon. It's sort of like this mound that comes up between both sides, and that happens when you're not dragging the blade across the entire scoop, but only in one half and then spinning it and doing the other half. That's why it's generally a good idea to try to start from the center when you're using your spoon knife so that you don't have this buildup. But there are ways to get rid of that buildup. You can drag the blade down the center of the wood and cut that off. Take it very slowly, and you want to make sure that your blade is nice and sharp when you're doing this. And after a bit of doing this, you can remove the center mound and continue sliding the blade along the bowl of your spoon. Now that we've got a bit of a shallow bowl going on with the spoon, it's becoming more and more difficult to drag the blade down into the spoon because you're fighting against the grain a bit. So we want to move to a new technique where we carve in 4 directions. You don't ever want to carve into the grain of the wood. That'll snap the wood and break it in different directions, and it just won't cut cleanly. So we want to take the hook knife, we're going to pull it in this direction down, only for this quarter of the bowl. You can do the same in this direction by flipping it upside down and pulling right here. And then in order to get this side and this side, we'll pull from here. And we'll flip it upside down and do the same thing with the thumb safely out of the way. And you can keep using this technique until you get to the desired depth of your spoon. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments and like the video if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one.